Hey guys, today what we're going to be doing is graphing systems of linear inequalities. So what we're going to do is just start by graphing these two, and I have 3x plus 2y is greater than negative 2. So there's two things you can do. You can either put this in slope-intercept form, or you can graph it in standard form. I want to turn this first one into slope-intercept form, first by minusing 3x on both sides. That would give me then 2y is greater than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. If I divide each and every term by 2, I'm going to have y is greater than or equal to negative 3 over 2 minus 1. So to graph this, I start out negative 1, and then I get more points by going down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 2. Down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 2. Now I'm going to graph it. I have to decide if it's a dotted or a solid line. It's a solid line because it's greater than or equal to. So let's go ahead and grab my line. And here's my line to show greater than. And, my line to show y is greater than or equal to negative 3x minus 1. And if you guys notice, I forgot my x. Okay, so now the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade everything greater than this. So this would be everything above this line, and it would look something like this. Now the next thing what I want to do is I am going to graph x plus 2y is less than or equal to 2. Now to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this in standard form. So I'm going to do that in red. So if I had 0 for x, I would have 2y is greater than or, less than or equal to 2, which means my y-intercept here would be 1, because I would divide both sides by 2. So my y-intercept is positive 1. Now my next one is, what if I had x plus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 2? So then this would be x is less than or equal to 2. So then I go to positive 2 for my x, 1, 2. And I'm also going to draw a solid line because it is it's a solid line because it is less than or equal to. So let's draw that line all the way out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 0, 0 to see if I shade up or down. If I plug in 0, 0 for x and y into x plus 2y is less than 0, I would get 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 2. This would simplify to 0 is less than or equal to 2. That is a true statement. So I would shade everything below that line, because 0, 0 is a true part. So if I were to shade everything below that line, my graph would look something like this. Now the correct answer to a system of linear inequalities is where they are both shaded. As you can see, which I'm going to circle in black, this area right here, where it is shaded both in yellow and blue, is your correct answer. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at this next one. I have x is less than y. X is less than y would be graphed like this. It would it would be a dotted line, and it would be like this in orange. And I would have to shade everything that's less than this line, so I just go to the y-intercept, and I shade everything that's less than. Which looks like this. All right, so then the next one, you can choose to turn this into y equals mx plus b, or you can solve for it in standard form. If I added y on both sides and I minus 3 on both sides, I would get 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to y. If you read it from y, it's y is less than or equal to 2x minus 3. So if I go down to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot right there, and then I go up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, we're going to have a line that looks something like this. Now this is going to be a solid line. I'm going to go ahead and draw it in black. It's going to be a solid line. Oops. And what this one says, it's y is less than. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the y-intercept, and I'm going to choose a highlighter in green. I'm going to shade everything less than this. So where I'm trying to look is where does the green and yellow intersect. So it's a tad hard to see with the green. I'm going to lighten it up just a little bit so we can see exactly where they intersect. And you can see in this area right here is the area where it's both highlighted in green and black. Excuse me, green and yellow. So that would be your correct answer there. Okay, let's go ahead and look at one more. I have 3 lines that I need to graph. So first thing, I'm going to convert this into a little bit better looking. If I multiplied each and everything by 2, I'm going to have y minus x is less than negative 2. Now first one, I'm going to have x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0 is going to have a dotted line on the y-axis. So that would be right on the y-axis, and it's greater than 0. So that would shade everything to the right. The next one, it's y is less than or equal to 0. That is going to be a solid line, and that is going to be on the x-axis. This is y equals 0 right here. And I'm going to shade everything below. I'm going to do that in yellow. So far it's overlapping in the 4th quadrant. I still got to graph this. X minus y is less than negative 2. So I can do that by plugging in, I can do that by converting that quickly into y equals mx plus b form. This would be y is less than positive x minus 2. So if I go down to negative 2, and then I just go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, I then can draw my red line. This would be a dotted red line. And it would look something like this. And then it says it's less than, so I would shade down from the y-axis. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in orange. And what we're doing is looking for the area where all 3 of them overlap. And that would be in this spot right here is where all 3 overlap. So this would be the answer to the 3 solutions. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me or your teacher.